There is a moment in the life of every chosen one, a quiet, heavy moment where the room you pray in begins to feel like a barren desert. You have knelt on that cold floor so many times, asking for the same breakthrough, carrying the same burden, and whispering the same words until they feel completely worn out. But lately, you have stopped. You didn't stop because you no longer believe in God's power. You stopped because your soul is simply too tired to speak. Chosen one, you have put the request away, hidden it in the dark desk drawer of your heart, and closed the door. You look at that closed door and ask yourself in the silence, is there any point in knocking again? Has God simply closed his ear to this specific cry, leaving you alone in this long waiting season? When heaven goes quiet in your waiting season, the noise of doubt in your head gets louder. The quietness begins to whisper that your wait is a silent rejection, that your struggle is invisible to the Creator, and that the prayers you offered with tears were lost in the empty air. Chosen one, I know that this silent space is the hardest place to stand. It is the space where the enemy tells you that you have been bypassed. He tells you that while others walk into their blessings, your path has been grown over with weeds. But I want to tell you something today, something that will calm your restless mind. The quietness of heaven is not what you think it is. It is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a work so deep that it cannot be announced with noise. Chosen one, I am not here to tell you that you just need to pray harder. I am not here to dismiss the heavy exhaustion you feel when you watch another person step easily into the very blessing you have wept over for years. The pain of unanswered prayer is a unique kind of grief. It is the grief of holding a promise that feels like it has died in your hands. You have seen others share their testimonies of quick answers, and you have smiled through your own tears, wondering why your own story seems to be written in invisible ink. You have asked if you did something wrong, if your faith was too small, or if you were simply forgotten in the crowd of this silent season. I want to validate those private tears today, the moments when you stood in your kitchen or sat in your car and let the quiet weight of your unanswered prayers press down on your chest until you could barely breathe. Chosen one, those tears are not a sign of weak faith. They are the proof of how deeply you care about the path God has set before you. It's easy to trust God when the answers are flowing, but to look at a silent sky, to feel the cold draft of an empty room, and to still hold the hope that He is listening, that is the mark of someone who belongs to Him. You are not ignored. You are simply being prepared in secret. Chosen one, you must understand that in God's kingdom, silence is never empty. The prayers you almost stopped praying are not lost. They are sitting on the altar before Him, keeping their warmth. Just because God has not spoken a visible answer does not mean His hand has stopped moving. The delay is not a rejection, it is a protection. He is keeping the door closed because the room behind it is still being furnished for you. Do not mistake the quietness of the preparation for the absence of the builder. There was a man who understood the slow, agonizing silence of waiting better than almost any writer in the last century. C.S. Lewis. He was an Oxford professor, a scholar who knew the weight of war and the ache of grief, and he spent years praying through his own long winters. Lewis understood that when we ask God for change, we expect a sudden lightning bolt, but God often works through a slow, silent dawn. In his writings, he captured the quiet transformation that takes place when nothing seems to be moving on the surface. C.S. Lewis, the brilliant British thinker, wrote these profound words that have calmed the hearts of millions. Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? Let those words sit quietly in your spirit, chosen one. Day by day, nothing changes, That is the exact definition of your waiting season. Each morning you wake up to the same problems, the same quiet room, and the same unanswered questions. It feels like stagnation. It feels like defeat. But Lewis reveals the hidden mechanism of God's grace. The changes God is making in your life are microscopic. He is shifting your character, strengthening your roots, and adjusting your perspective one quiet day at a time. When you are in the middle of it, the progress is invisible. But one day, you will stand in the light of the answer, look back over the silent months, and realize that you became an entirely different person while you were waiting. You will see that the quiet days were not wasted. They were the very stones God used to build your new foundation. Chosen one, the silence of your current season is not a sign of God's inactivity. It is the signature of His deepest work. When a seed is buried in the dark soil, day by day, nothing seems to change on the surface. If you dig it up every morning to look for progress, you will only kill it. You must trust the dark, silent earth to do its work. In the same way, you must trust the quietness of God. The shift is happening in the deep, invisible places of your soul. This invisible shifting is exactly what the ancient King David experienced during his longest trials. Long before he wore a golden crown, David spent years running for his life, hiding in damp caves and crying out to a silent heaven. He knew what it was to feel like his prayers were sinking into the mud. In the Psalms, he recorded the raw honesty of a soul that was tired of waiting. Let's listen to how he describes the moment God finally turned to him. In Psalm chapter 40, David writes these immortal words, "I waited patiently for the Lord, and He inclined to me and heard my cry. He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my steps. He has put a new song in my mouth, praise to our God." Chosen one, notice the sequence of David's testimony. First, he waited. He did not say he waited for a few days or a few weeks. He waited until his patience was fully tested. He was in a horrible pit, a place of darkness, confusion, and confinement, where there was no visible way out. The miry clay represents a situation where the harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. It is the feeling of being trapped in your own anxious thoughts. But even in that muddy dark, David kept crying out. And because he did not silence his prayer, God inclined his ear. The creator of the universe bent down to listen to a whisper in the pit. Chosen one, think about the difference between standing in miry clay and standing on a solid rock. Clay is unstable. It shifts under your weight, offering no support, and leaving you constantly exhausted as you try to keep from sinking. That is what it feels like to live in anxiety, trying to force your own doors open and worry about tomorrow. But the rock is firm. It does not move when the storm hits. It does not sink when you stand on it. When God brings you out of the waiting room, He does not just give you a temporary relief. He establishes your steps on a foundation that nothing can shake. The delay you are experiencing is the time it takes to clear away the mud so that your feet can be set on solid stone. You cannot build a lasting destiny on shifting clay. Chosen one, hear this truth today. God is about to put a new song in your mouth. The old song of weariness, the song of "How long, O Lord," is coming to an end. The silence of the pit is being replaced by a shout of praise. People will look at your life. They will see the dramatic rescue of God, and they will stand in awe. Your testimony will not be about how strong your faith was, but about how faithful your God was in the dark. But remember, chosen one, David had to wait in the pit before he could sing on the rock. The pit was the womb of the psalm. Without the struggle in the miry clay, there would have been no new song to sing. If God had rescued David in the first hour, he would have had a story of convenience, but not a testimony of power. Your current wait is not a waste of time. It is the writing of your song. Chosen one, let us pause here for just a moment. If you are listening to this right now, and you feel the weight of your unanswered prayers shifting, I want you to make a declaration of faith. I want you to go down to the comment section and type the word justice. By typing that word, you are letting heaven know that you trust God to open the doors that have been closed against you. You are agreeing that His timing is perfect and that He is currently pulling you out of the miry clay. Let this be your moment of alignment, a quiet sign to yourself and to the community that you are still standing, still believing, and still waiting on the Lord. Do not let weariness quiet your voice. Have you ever wondered why certain prayers simply will not leave you? You have tried to walk away from them. You have tried to tell yourself that it's too late, and yet the desire remains. Chosen one, that persistent longing in your soul is not a random distraction. It is not a sign of your own stubbornness. It is often a whisper from your Creator, a divine reminder of what He has already written in your book of destiny. If the prayer was not meant for you, the hunger for it would have died long ago. C.S. Lewis captured this eternal homesickness of the soul in a beautiful paraphrase of his classic book, Mere Christianity. He wrote, "You were made for a different world." Think about that, chosen one. You were made for a different world. This is why your deepest prayers often feel so heavy, and why the things of this earth can never fully satisfy your heart. The weight you are enduring is not just about getting what you want. It is about aligning your spirit with the eternal realm. Your persistent prayers are a sign that you are not at home in the shallow waters of this world. God is using the silence of the waiting season to lift your eyes from the temporary problems to the eternal weight of glory. He is showing you that the delay is not a denial of your desires, but a widening of your capacity to receive something far greater than you ever imagined. The longing is not meant to torture you. It is meant to prepare you for the infinite joy that only He can provide. In Luke chapter 18, Jesus tells a parable to show His disciples that they should always pray and not give up. He tells the story of a widow who went to an unjust judge, demanding justice against her adversary. The judge did not care about God or people, and he refused to help her for a long time. But the widow kept coming back. She knocked on his door morning after morning, refusing to be silenced, until the judge finally said, "Because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice." And then Jesus says, "Will not God bring about justice for His chosen ones, who cry out to Him day and night? Will He keep putting them off? I tell you, He will see that they get justice, and quickly." Chosen one. Notice the contrast Jesus is making. If an evil, uncaring judge can be moved by persistent knocking, how much more will your loving Father respond to your persistent prayers? He is not like the unjust judge. He is not trying to ignore you. But why then, you ask, does the Father make us wait? If He is not like the unjust judge, why does He not answer immediately? Chosen one, the answer lies in the nature of the relationship. The judge wanted the widow to leave him alone. He answered her prayer just to get rid of her. But your Father wants you to draw closer. He delays the answer, not to keep you at a distance, but to keep you knocking at the door, because it is in the knocking that you learn to hear His breath. It is in the waiting room that your intimacy with Him is forged. If every prayer were answered in the first second, you would love the gifts, but you would never know the giver. The silence is not a barrier. It is an invitation to climb higher. Chosen one, you have a specific voice that God listens to day and night. When you cry out in the quiet hours of the night, when you pray under your breath in the middle of a busy day, those words do not fall to the ground. They are gathered by angels. They are placed in golden bowls of incense. The Father does not tire of your knocking. In fact, your persistence is a sweet fragrance to Him. It is the proof that you trust Him even when the heavens are silent. Your cry is not lost. It is being recorded in the books of heaven. Every tear you have shed over that unanswered prayer has been bottled by the Creator. He has not forgotten a single word, and His vindication is closer than you think. The delay in response is actually a maturation process. When God plans a small thing, He answers quickly. A weed grows in a single night, but an oak tree takes decades to reach its full height. It must endure winter after winter, standing in the silent cold, letting its roots stretch deep into the dark earth. Chosen one, you are not a weed, you are an oak of righteousness. What God is building in your life is not a temporary blessing that will fade next season. He is building a legacy. He is preparing an answer that will carry the weight of generations. That is why the preparation cannot be rushed. The quiet days are the deep roots that will hold you steady when the glory of the answer finally manifests. Chosen one, I know that weariness is your greatest battle right now. It is easy to start a prayer with passion and fire, but to pray the same request for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, that is a weight that can crush the strongest spirit. The temptation to stop knocking is very real. You begin to feel that if you just stop asking, the disappointment will finally stop hurting. But I want to remind you that your weariness is not the end. It is the sign that you are approaching the threshold of your breakthrough. In the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, the Apostle Paul writes this crucial instruction: "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." Chosen one, notice that Paul does not say we might reap. He says we shall reap. It is a divine guarantee. The only condition placed upon this harvest is that we do not lose heart and walk away. The phrase due season is particularly important. It refers to a specific, appointed time that has been set by God's sovereignty. It is not determined by your calendar or by human expectations. It is the perfect moment when the fruit is fully ripe and you are fully prepared to receive it. If you harvest too early, the fruit is sour. If you harvest too late, it is ruined. God's timing is precise. Chosen one, think of a seed planted deep in the earth. For months, it sits in darkness, surrounded by cold soil. If you look at that patch of ground, it looks like a grave. Nothing is happening. There is no sign of life. But under the soil, the seed is going through a silent, violent transformation. The outer shell is breaking open, and the root is growing downward to anchor the plant. If the seed could speak, it might complain about the darkness and the delay. It might feel forgotten, but the darkness is not its enemy. It is its nursery. Without that silent time under the earth, it could never grow the roots necessary to support the fruit above. Your prayers are currently in the soil. They are not dead. They are germinating in the dark. The shoot is about to break through the surface. Chosen one, the due season of your promise is locked. It is an appointment in God's calendar that cannot be cancelled, delayed, or stolen by any earthly power. The enemy wants you to believe that the delay has ruined your chances. He wants you to believe that because you made mistakes or because time has passed, you have missed your moment. But the due season is established by God's decree. When that hour strikes, no closed door can stay shut, no barrier can stand in your way, and no delay can continue. The answer will be released with sovereign authority. Your harvest is not lost. It is secured in the hands of the Father, waiting for the appointed hour. You must hold your ground and refuse to faint, because the signature of God is already on your victory. The greatest tragedy in the life of a chosen one is fainting just before the harvest. Many walk away from their promise when they are only days away from the breakthrough. They allow the exhaustion of the wait to convince them that God is silent and uncaring. Chosen one, do not let that be your story. When the fatigue is at its peak, it is because the harvest is at the door. The darkest hour of the night is always just before the dawn. Keep knocking, keep praying, keep standing, because your season is here. Chosen one, I feel a shift happening in the spiritual realm right now. While you have been sitting in the quiet, wondering if your prayers were ignored, the Father has been moving alignments behind the scenes. The hearts of kings are in His hands. The circumstances that blocked your way are being dissolved. The people who planned to keep you in the background are being moved aside. God is not just going to answer your prayer. He is going to answer it in a way that establishes His justice over your life. The quiet years are coming to an end. The shift is already in motion, and what was hidden in the secret place is about to be revealed in the light of day. Prepare your heart, because the answer is already on its way. Chosen one, the doors that have been locked against you for years are unlocking from the other side. You have spent so much energy trying to push them open with your own strength, only to meet resistance. But the key of David is turning in the lock. What God opens, no man can shut. The closed door was not a rejection, it was a holding pattern. And now, the season of containment is breaking. You are stepping out of the waiting room and into the place of fulfillment. The path that seemed blocked is clearing. Do not look at the past years of silence as a loss. Look at them as the runway for the launch. The door is open, and the invite is signed by the hand of the Father Himself. The trap of delay is broken over your life. The enemy meant to use the waiting season to make you weary, to make you doubt your identity, and to make you curse the God who called you. But that trap has backfired. Instead of destroying your faith, the wait has made you stronger. It has burned away the superficial desires and left you with a pure, unshakable trust in the Father. The very delay that was meant to crush you has prepared you to carry the weight of the blessing. You are no longer easily shaken. You are grounded. You are ready. The delay is over, and the vindication of your persistence is beginning. The weapon of time that the enemy used against you has been turned into the tool of your promotion. Chosen one, the answer is ready. The promise that you almost stopped praying for is fully mature and is being released into your hands. You will not have to struggle to hold it. You will not have to defend it in your own strength. It is a gift of grace, designed specifically for your destiny. The wait was long, but the answer will be permanent. What God gives you in this season will not be taken away. It is your portion, so let your anxious mind rest today. You do not need to worry about how the breakthrough will happen or when the door will open. You only need to rest in the sovereignty of the Father. He has never missed an appointment. He has never forgotten a promise. His timing is perfect, and He is holding your future secure in His hands. The silence is over, and the dawn has come. Let the peace of heaven wash over your tired soul. Let the peace of heaven wash over your tired soul. If your heart is heavy, and if you are ready to surrender the weariness of the wait to the one who holds your destiny, pray this prayer with me today. Let us speak it together in the quietness of this moment. Heavenly Father, I come to you today with a tired spirit but a believing heart. I confess that the wait has been long, and there have been days when the silence of heaven felt like abandonment. I confess that I almost stopped knocking, but today I choose to lay my weariness at your feet. I trust that you have heard every whisper and gathered every tear. I choose to believe that my unanswered prayers are not lost, but are held secure in your hands. I surrender my timing to yours. I ask for the strength to stand firm and to hope again. Lord, grant me the patience to wait without fainting. Establish my steps upon the rock of your promises, and keep my heart from sinking into the miry clay of anxiety. Silence the voice of the enemy that whispers doubts in my mind. Fill my room with your presence, and let your quietness be my comfort rather than my fear. I choose to trust that you are working behind the scenes, rearranging alignments for my good, and preparing a due season that will vindicate every silent year. I declare that my harvest is coming, and that the door you open will not be shut by any man. I rest in your sovereignty, knowing that you are my Father, my protector, and my portion. In your precious name I pray. Amen. Chosen one, receive the peace of God over your mind right now. Let the tension leave your shoulders. Let the quietness of the room remind you that He is present. The storm of anxiety is over, and the gentle whisper of His love is here. You do not have to fight for the breakthrough. You only need to stand. The Father is with you. He has heard you, and He has not forgotten. You can sleep in peace tonight, knowing that the morning will bring His faithfulness. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message has brought comfort to your tired spirit, and if you believe that God is about to answer the prayers you almost gave up on, please subscribe to this channel, C.S. Lewis Sermons. Share this video with another chosen one who is struggling to stand in the silence. Do not forget to comment the word justice to join your faith with ours. We pray over every comment, and we believe that as a community, our persistent knocking will move heaven. You are not walking this path alone. We stand with you, and we wait with you. Stay strong, chosen one, and keep your heart open to the voice of the Father. And remember, chosen one, the wait is only the preparation. In our next episode, we will talk about how the preparation season is complete and how your moment is here. The door is about to swing open, and you will want to be ready to step through. The silent months are behind you, and the harvest is before you. Keep watching, keep trusting, and I will see you in the next message.